The market was in chaos. Women were yelling, traders were running, and people were searching under tables and behind stores. A child was missing. Anne had gone to the market with her little boy, Toby. He was only 4 years old, small and full of energy. 1 minute, he was by her side, clutching her wrapper, and the next, he was gone. She did only turn for a moment to pay for some yams. "Toby!" she screamed, her voice breaking as she looked around frantically. "Toby, where are you?" Shoppers stopped to look, their curiosity turning to concern as they saw the panic on Anne's face. Questions began to ripple through the crowd. "What's wrong? Who is missing?" Soon, the whole market knew. Traders abandoned their stalls, customers paused their shopping, and the search began. People looked everywhere, under tables, inside baskets, and even nearby bushes. Women called out his name, and men ran to check the perimeter of the market. A few climbed onto elevated spots, scanning the crowd for any sign of the little boy, but there was no sign of Toby. Minutes turned into hours, and the initial buzz of the search quieted as dread began to settle. Then someone said what no one wanted to hear. "Maybe he has been taken." Anne's legs gave way. She fell to the ground, her hands clutching at the depths as tears streamed down her face. The weight of those words crushed her chest. She could hardly breathe. In their village, children had gone missing before. Too many of them. Once a child disappeared, they were rarely found. People whispered that it was the work of human traffickers, but no one could prove it. The stories were always vague but chilling. Children taken far away, never to return. Fred, her husband, rushed as soon as he heard. He was at work when a neighbor came running to tell him what had happened. His heart pounded as he sprinted to the market, finding Anne surrounded by a small crowd of sympathetic but helpless onlookers. Her eyes were red and swollen, her voice hoarse from shouting Toby's name. "We have to find him," Fred said, his voice firm despite the fear gripping him. Together, they went to the small police station in the village to report Toby's disappearance. The officers listened, their faces grim. They promised to investigate, but their tired eyes didn't look hopeful. "We will do our best," one of them said, though his tone suggested that their best might not be enough. Back at home, neighbors gathered. Some offered kind words and prayers. Others shook their heads in pity. Many advised Anne and Fred to accept the truth. "You have to move on," one older man said gently. "You still have each other." Fred nodded slowly, his shoulders slumping under the weight of his despair. But Anne shook her head firmly. "No," she said, her voice steady despite the tears in her eyes. "Toby is coming back. I will not give up." That night, Anne went down on her knees. She prayed with everything in her. She prayed until her throat was sore and her eyes swollen. She remembered the stories in the Bible, how God rescued people from impossible situations, how Daniel was saved from the lion's den, how the Red Sea was parted for the Israelites. She begged for that same miracle. For 3 days, there was no word. Fred tried to comfort her, but she could see the doubt in his eyes. The neighbors stopped visiting as much, convinced the boy was gone for good. Anne spent those days moving between prayer and searching. She wandered the village, calling out Toby's name, hoping against hope that he would hear her and respond. But the silence was deafening. On the 3rd evening, just as the sun dipped below the horizon, there was a knock at the door. Anne, who had been sitting in the corner clutching one of Toby's small shirts, jumped to her feet. Her heart raced as she tried to read the faces of the 2 officers standing at the threshold. One of them smiled. "Madam, we have found your son." Anne's knees buckled. She grabbed the door frame for support, her mind struggling to process the words. Before she could respond, the officers stepped aside, and there he was, Toby, clutching a small piece of bread, his face tired but unharmed. Anne screamed with joy and scooped him up, covering his little face with kisses. She held him so tightly, he squealed. "Mama, you are squeezing me." But she didn't let go. Fred rushed forward, pulling both of them into his arms. Tears streamed down his face as he whispered, "Thank God, thank God." Neighbors poured into the compound when they heard the noise. Their disbelief quickly turned into celebration. People clapped, sang, and danced. Some lifted Toby into their shoulders, parading him like a hero. Others hugged Anne and Fred, apologizing for ever doubting that he would return. The officers explained what had happened. "We stopped a group of men traveling with a truck filled with children," one of them said. "They had planned to sell the kids far away, but we caught them just in time." Anne's heart ached as she thought of the other children. "What will happen to them?" she asked. "We are working to reunite them with their families," the officers assured her. That night, the village was alive with singing and dancing. People praised God for answering Anne's prayers. Even those who had told her to move on now clapped and rejoiced. Fred slaughtered one of their chickens, and neighbors brought food and drinks to celebrate the miracle. Anne held Toby close, tears of relief streaming down her face. She looked up at the sky and whispered, "Thank you." In the days that followed, the story of Toby's return spread beyond the village. People from neighboring towns came to hear the tale, marveling at Anne's unwavering faith. Her determination became an inspiration. Mothers clung a little tighter to their children, and people began to speak out more openly about the dangers of human trafficking. The village elders organized meetings to discuss ways to protect their community, from improving security at the market to educating people about warning signs. Anne, too, became a voice for change. She shared her story at every opportunity, urging parents to stay vigilant and reminding them never to give up hope, no matter how bleak things seemed.